On the travel show this week.
Gigantic metal elephants.
So this is how you make an elephant roar. That was incredible.
How one tweet saved a rhino. And exploring London's secret tube network.
The top speed of one of our mail trains was about 35 miles an hour.
It is pretty fast.
We start this week on France's River Loire. Along its banks, you'll find some of the country's most impressive history. The chateaux there were visited by the likes of Joan of Arc, Leonardo da Vinci, and Eleanor of Aquitaine. But we sent Keith Wallace to the city of Nantes to find out how the region's industrial past is being used to inspire a new generation.
Just over a decade ago, this little island in the Loire was a scrap of wasteland close to the centre of Nantes. A 3-mile stretch of brownfield site, home only to the odd artist who'd gone there in search of peace and quiet. But it didn't stay peaceful for very long. In 2007, the great elephant, began taking its daily constitutional. People came from all over to hitch a ride in its belly. And as it prepares to celebrate its 10th birthday, they still come. So this is how you make an elephant roar from inside its body. That was incredible. It's so low tech. You can feel the whole thing pull against your body as you're doing it. This is the thing that I love. All of these switches are twitching in time the elephant's moving. It's so organic. It's incredible. The elephant rides formed part of the first huge push to turn the fortunes of Nantes around. The industry that had recently departed had left a huge, ugly scar just a stone's throw from the historic centre.
It's a crazy project when you think about it. When they proposed to the city to create an elephant that will carry people on his back and go around on the Isle of Nantes, I mean, and you have to ask money for that. You can imagine that people were quite surprised. But the fact is that they managed to reach the challenge and to make it.
I mean, there are loads of cities that have old industrial quarters that have been taken over by archetypes. But this is different. This is about rivets and metal and wood and workmanship. And for a very good reason. They built ships here. In the mid-1970s, 60,000 people made their living on this island, but the ships started getting bigger and bigger, and the Loire was too narrow this far upstream to accommodate them. 30 years ago, in 1987, the last yard closed. These days, the old buildings are occupied not just by the elephant, but by a whole menagerie. Francois, you're in a spider. All the animals began life inside the head of Francois, and he still gets a kick out of the drama.
She wakes up.
She wakes up. She wakes up. And how long did it take to build?
Oh, 6 months.
Can I move the head?
You have to manipulate like a marionettist with feeling, you understand?
With feeling, okay. Oh, get into
Feel it,
Okay.
please.
So feel the spider.
Ces objets sont un petit peu comme autant d'enfants en fait, hein, qui naissent de cet atelier. Pour moi, il est absolument impossible de préférer une machine parce que certaines sont grandes et un peu lourdes, d'autres sont petites mais vives et d'autres ont des fragilités qui sont émouvantes. Et c'est un peu comme si on vous demandait de choisir lequel de vos enfants vous préférez et c'est absolument impossible.
And these are all dockyards, aren't they? And they still feel like it. That's intentional.
Oui. Les machines que l'on fabrique utilisent un savoir-faire industriel, la soudure, la chaudronnerie, l'hydraulique, la mécanique. Et ce sont des métiers qui ont perdu un petit peu d'attractivité et on retrouve une espèce de passion d'utiliser ses mains pour fabriquer.
But there's another influence. The adventure writer Jules Verne was a son of Nantes, and his book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, inspired the island's Gothic carousel. We're quite high up.
Yeah.
Do we control how high it is?
No, we
don't?
No, we can't. We are on the top level, precisely on the surface of the sea, and under we have the deep sea, and then the intermediate level of the sea, and at every levels you have different machines. The idea is that you make a trip and to dream, basically.
These all flap. Should we do some flapping?
Activate. Well,
I think we're supposed to flap as it goes up.
yeah.
There's no point flapping now. We're gonna flap.
No, we can flap at any time. Yeah.
All right. We can do what we like.
Yeah.
We're on the holidays.
Yeah.
Since the carousel was built, it's possible that Nantes skyline has become one of the most distinctive in Europe, and it's about to get even weirder. A 45-metre tall artificial tree, complete with mechanical herons, will offer tourists flights. Building work on that is scheduled to begin soon, with a finish date estimated for 2021.
Keith Wallace in the French city of Nantes.
And if you're thinking about heading there anytime soon, here's the travel show's top tips.
The Voyage à Nantes is an urban trail that winds several miles through the city, taking in dozens of artistic and historical sites. The distinctive green line will take you around all sorts of treasures, some of which are created especially for the summer, and many of which are free.
We have about 40 artists everywhere in town with great installations. Children love to follow the green line there. It's kind of they induce the children also to discover the city with the parents.
At the end of June, the Museum of Fine Arts reopens after a 6-year closure. It's been redeveloped and expanded and will become one of the region's largest galleries. Treasures include works by Picasso, Kandinsky, and Max Ernst. If you want a glimpse of some of the region's most important chateaux, head a couple of hours up the river to places like Chambord, Amboise, Blois. They're not only historically important, they're also beautiful to look at. And finally, if you fancy joining in the Great Elephant's birthday party, it's being held on June 30th. The venue is across the river at the old quarry where the heron tree will one day be built. An entry from 8:30 p.m. is free. Next this week, London by Night. The latest in our series looking at what the city gets up to after dark. This time, we're off to meet Baker Street's nocturnal florist.
We are 24/7, so it never closes. Yeah, we don't have keys. We can never shut down if something goes wrong. My name is Kaleem and I work at Flower Station as a night shift supervisor. It used to be a petrol station about 13 years ago, but since then it's a flower shop. Our customer at night are kind of, especially what I believe, lovers. When they fight with each other, one thing can fix that relationship. It's flowers. One time somebody came 4 a.m. He said that, search on Google, only one shop open 24/7, let's go there and fix it.
The reason I'm buying flowers in the middle of the night is I've finished my shift as a taxi driver. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, and hopefully this will be a nice surprise for her. Yeah, I was looking at the purple ones as well. Sure. Perhaps this one here, nice.
24/7 really helps people in Australia and America and different part of the world.
Yes, sir, we can.
When they're gonna be afternoon,
Yes, right now.
everything gonna be closed here. Celebrities, sometimes they come and they choose their own flowers. They feel like they are in their own heaven or in back gardens. In center of London, you can never have that. We don't print out any letter and send it to customer. All of our cards are handwritten. We have a special team. I'm the one at night time who write letters if any order comes. At night, it is peaceful. Everybody is sleeping, but we are working. For me, flowers are everything. I was thinking if I have a girl, baby girl, I will give her a name Dahlia. It's a flower name. It's one of my favorite, Dahlia. I think flowers are the one thing which can connect you with the nature.
Stay with us because coming up on the travel show,
A neat way to book New York hotel rooms by the minute. And I'm in London exploring the secret tube network that's about to be open to the public for the first time.
you're going to get a dodgy back if you're walking down here all day. The Travel Show, your essential guide wherever you're headed.
Time now for Trending Travel, your monthly mashup of the best travel-related stories, snaps and videos online. A few months ago, we met the Tillotsons. They launched a huge social media campaign to find one lucky nanny who would join them on a once-in-a-lifetime trip around the world. Well, almost 25,000 applications later, they found their new travel companion.
It was such an honor to have so much attention on us and so many people saying, yeah, take me, take me.
The lucky nanny is Alaire Moore from Texas, USA.
I called them and they're talking and they're just like, hey, we just wanted to see how your week has been. And Derek goes, can we switch over to FaceTime? And I'm like, oh, obviously I have the job, because there's no way they're gonna FaceTime me to tell me that I don't have it. That's just rude.
The group set off in July and will be blogging about their adventures. Trouble packing for your next trip? This Kickstarter project has a solution. The unique travel set packs 7 pieces of women's clothing down into a single lightweight bag with 30 different combinations. The project hit its funding target earlier this month, with a rollout planned for later in the year. Off the red eye? In need of a quick rest? Recharge is an app that lets you book luxury hotel rooms by the minute. It's just launched in New York, offering customers a chance to use the rooms in the daytime. Perfect for a shower and a nap. But be warned, if you're still there when housekeeping arrives, it's a $250 fine. So don't forget your alarm clock. And finally, one tweet managed to save the life of an endangered rhino. After reading about Puntung, a Sumatran rhino with a dangerous abscess, Adam posted this call for help.
I immediately tweeted at Saving the Survivors. They then put together an international crew of vets that performed a highly successful operation.
Puntung has now recovered and is living at a sanctuary in Malaysia.
The Sumatran rhino is one of the most endangered species on Earth. There are fewer than 100 of them left, and if we're going to save them from extinction, every single last one counts.
Thanks to everyone who sent us their pictures this month using the hashtag TravelTuesday. Here are some of my favourites. Richard White was in Hong Kong when he snapped the Daily Light show. And no prizes for guessing where Deepa Joshi took this monochromatic shot of a famous landmark. Don't forget to check our Twitter and Facebook feeds for loads of extra special travel show content. Now let's look at the travel videos clocking up the views online. Surf's up! With the European summer fast approaching, we ride the waves with some of the internet's surfing stars.
Getting swells like these are few and far between. We may only actually surf these waves a couple times a year, but when we do, it's well worth it.
In my opinion, what makes a great surfing film? Something really trippy. We're just having fun. You gotta go for it with what you got. Don't sweat too much.
You need to know your way around the ocean. It's not for the faint-hearted, and if you don't know what you're doing out there, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble.
And if you see anything you think we should know about, don't forget to get in touch. It's at BBC Travel Show.
Let's finish this week deep underneath London. Final preparations are underway to open to the public an underground train network that most Londoners will never even have heard of. Until 2003, it belonged to the Royal Mail. Its tunnels snake between and alongside the regular tube, the one that we all know about. I've been told to come to Liverpool Street Station, the capital's gateway to the east of England, to see it for myself.
This really is the bowels of Liverpool Street. I think there's a big old set of stairs I'm meant to go down. Yeah, right here. That's better. You can actually hear the old tube trains kind of going down, so we must be at that level.
The station mirrors its counterpart on the Central Line just above us. It just lacks that nice tiling and polish.
Hello, is it Ray, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you? I'm Henry. How's things?
Hi, nice to meet
It's
you.
amazing, isn't it? It's almost like stepping back in time, isn't it?
It's pretty much how it was when we shut in 2003. Nothing's much changed.
Ray's worked down here ever since it was decommissioned. He's one of 3 making sure the tunnels are dry and safe.
So how would it all work?
Well, after a letter was received at a sorting office, if it needed to be transferred to the railways or another sorting office, it would be bagged up and sent down to us. And our trains ran from East London at Whitechapel to Paddington in the west. And it was a loop, and we'd send trains round, and they'd continuously go around 22 hours a day, with a 6-minute gap between trains.
To the depths we go.
This is the under-platform area. This was the 150-volt power supplies for powering the trains around the stations. If I hold that up there, you can work the handle, pull it down. And if I release that coil, it'll drop out.
Wow. Not for the faint-hearted.
Now that there are no trains running through here, it's safe to walk through.
Just down here?
Yeah, just down here. Well, the whole railway is 6.5 miles long, but there's 22 miles of track have been laid because there's double track and sidings. It was dug by hand. These are built on a hill, so as the train approached, it could naturally decelerate, and as the train departed, it could naturally accelerate.
You're going to get a dodgy back if you're walking down here all day.
You could develop the mail rail walk.
The mail rail walk.
This was a 1980s mail train.
Right. They're actually a lot smaller than I thought they would be.
Yeah, they're sort of half size. We use a 2-foot gauge, so it's quite narrow, and these are quite small. They were unmanned, they were automatic. The top speed of one of our mail trains was about 35 miles an hour.
35 miles an hour?
But in the top, the average speed was much lower.
That's fairly perky though, it is pretty fast.
Mail was very busy. There was lots of people here, lots of different jobs going on. It was a noisy environment with trains coming in and out, lifts coming up and down, and people pushing mail containers around. It was quite a lively environment.
And very soon, paying customers will be able to see this for themselves. In the next few weeks, a brand new postal museum will open here at Mount Pleasant in central London.
They're actually moving all their archives to a purpose-built centre just over the road.
And the highlights will be put on display.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that. That is amazing. So what's this room for?
This is traditionally the heart of the network as was. This is where all the locomotives would have been worked on, and this will be the centre of the post-museum experience.
Sorry to point out the obvious, Tim, but what is this thing?
So this is one of the new locomotives.
And the centrepiece will be a ride through the tunnels below, on the modern equivalent of a mail train.
Push that back. Oh, right. So, okay, so this is where the driver will sort of sit and...
Exactly, yeah. One train driver and one guard per train.
It's a huge project, so there must have been some sort of challenges that you guys came across. What were the biggest?
We started off very much from a point of view of can it be done, and being honest, I think probably we thought there was a reason it couldn't be done. And as we got further and further through the development, I think we realised kind of how much the public wanted the tunnels to be opened up again.
So do you think the British public find an affinity with the Postal Service here?
I certainly hope so, yeah. The collections that we hold represent 500 years of serving the public, really, and constantly sort of innovating and constantly changing, and certainly in terms of post offices, they've been the glue that's often held the community together.
While the ride is clearly the main attraction, the roots of Royal Mail go all the way back to Henry VIII. So the archivists have some rich pickings to choose from as they assemble the new exhibition. The Postal Museum is scheduled to open in July.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this week, but join us next week when...
I head to Istanbul to take in the sights and sounds of a city that combines 2 continents and thousands of years of history, along with some of the best Turkish baths in the world.
So after you have a good scrub, you get a bit of water on the head and... cold water! Catch that if you can. But for me, Henry Golding, and the rest of the Travel Show team here deep underground in London, it's goodbye.